Today we're gonna be voting on magic cards. We're gonna see which one is better. I'm gonna let you guys, the community, figure it out. In the left corner, we've got Soul Ring. For 1 mana and $1, you can tap and add 2 generic mana to your mana pool. And in the right corner, we have Mana Crypt. It costs 0 mana, but in the real world, it costs over $100. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin, and if you lose the flip, Mana Crypt deals 3 damage to you. They do the same thing, but they have different costs. Mana Crypt on average, gonna deal 1.5 damage to you per turn, but it doesn't feel like that. It's either gonna be a lot of damage or no damage at all. We got people like rooting for Soul Ring. Well, Soul Ring I also think is a litmus test, what is it called, litmus test? To gauge like how well you can identify the power level in the commander format. People say, oh, Soul Ring is fine, no big deal. They don't know how to they don't understand power level. There's a lot of cards banned in Commander just because of Soul Ring. Which is fine, you all want to play with your Soul Ring, that's okay, but you're banning everything else so that Soul Ring can stay in existence. Soul in my ring. Soul Ring till I die. Some vintage players out there. To be honest, I think Mana Crypt's downside is irrelevant Commander where it's legal. You got 40 life, what's 3 damage sometimes? I agree, especially if you're gonna end the game like almost immediately. I'm surprised so many people are saying Soul Ring. I think some people are spiting the Mana Crypt. And by the way, you guys can suggest cards that we line up against each other. We're not gonna spend all day just comparing Soul Ring to Mana Crypt. No. Someone give me 2 other close cards to compare. And you can also super chat them if people are having a war out there. Mana Crypt requires another card to be good. Soul Ring is built in. It requires another card to be good? I don't get it. Mana Crypt is Mana Crypt. They both do the same thing. You mean like you need to be playing a combo deck or it's just gonna damage you till you die? You need to take the or out of this and play both. I mean, that true story, it's Mana Crypt is restricted in Vintage. I can only imagine that this card sees a lot of heavy play anyway. Soul Ring versus Mana Vault. Actually, what is a closer one? Grim Monolith versus Mana Vault? I like that. Alright, looks like Soul Ring won it. Okay, so while I set it up, we go Grim Monolith Mana Vault. I think for people who cannot afford Soul Ring, sorry, can't afford Mana Vault, or Mana Crypt, might have played a big, or I don't know, maybe Soul Ring is just better. For the games that go long, like, you can't play Mana Crypt in every deck. I mean, it will kill you. It will kill you. Soul Ring is nice and painless. We have Mana Vault. We're starting off hot. I want the original Mana Vault. None of these are original. Close enough. Looks like a proxy. Because it is a proxy. Mana Vault. And what are we comparing it to? Oh yeah, Grim Monolith. Alright, on the left corner we got Mana Vault. Both of these get abused by, what is it, Voltaic Key? Because you just add mana, then use Voltaic Key to just untap it, and boom, you got 1 billion mana. So Mana Vault will add 3 mana off of 1 mana, so it's like a dark ritual, or it's a colorless ritual as far as I'm concerned. It's a bland ritual. Whereas on the right, we've got Grim Monolith. For 2 mana, you only get 3 mana, so it's like a pyretic ritual. It's a colorless pyretic ritual. Mana Crypt comes with a catch is the point, yeah. You're talking about the last one. But so does Mana Vault. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 4 if you do untap Mana Vault. At the beginning of your draw step, if Mana Vault is tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. So Mana Vault will, I mean, it's basically the Mana Crypt of this scenario. Still a lot of mana, though. Magic 30 versus homemade proxies. I would be curious to, I would be surprised if there was more than 5% for the Magic 30 cards. Sorry, late, but Mana Crypt, because my opponents won a cube game once. All right. No one knows. I guess no one knows the power of Mana Crypt until you play with Mana Crypt. Or sorry, scratch that. Yeah, it damages you. There are a lot of stuff. There's always a catch, people. There's always a catch. Both are good at unwinding the clock too. What do you mean? I would prefer that it's slightly close cards, like Colossal Dreadmaw and Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. They're not close. Not even close. Like, this is not a close call. It's interesting to see which ones are like really, really close. Spirit Squad a little late on here. Better Call Saul Ring. That one won't kill you in Vintage. A Crypt absolutely will. They probably equal in EDH, but Soul Ring has a worse reputation because you can't get it cheap. True story. The Dreadmar versus Carnage Tyrant. What's up, Alex? Welcome. Welcome over here. This is, hold on, okay, now there are some catches to both of these things. At least Grim Monolith is legal in Legacy, which is really weird. So it's legal, you can play as four of these as you want, but this is, well, this technically isn't legal anywhere. But if we get to the, an actual legal card, it's banned in Legacy, restricted in Vintage. Play as many Grim Monoliths as you want in Vintage and Legacy. So that's a bonus to Grim Monolith, if anyone ever thought about that. I like that. That's a good one. All right, Grizzlebrand versus Archon of Cruelty. That's a cool one. So we're going to end this poll. Grim Monolith... Who won? Grim Monolith won? No, Mana Vault won. But very close, 53%. Grim Monolith was 46%. Congratulations, Mana Vault. You're still the Dark Ritual of colorless mana. All right, which is better? It's now the Battle of the Graveyard win conditions. Grizzlebrand or Archon of Cruelty. This is a new revelation, Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand basically took over as like the win condition for all this stuff for a very long time, but now Archon of Cruelty has, in a big way, taken market share in that regard. Also sees tons of play in the, what's it called, the creativity decks. Just creativity, this thing. Indomitable creativity. Not very creative if you ask me. People better not hate on my boy G Brizzy. I never heard of that one before. We got, in the left corner, we got G Brizzy. In the right corner, we got A Cruelty. Personally, you know, honestly, the one that kills me the most when it resolves is Archon of Cruelty. Like, that ETB is just game ending for me. I have to sack a creature, I gotta lose life, lose cards, and my opponent gets the opposite. It's actually not clear all the time if my opponent will win when they get a Grizzlebrand out. Because if they get Grizzlebrand out, they might not have 7 life to like, basically pay to draw 7 cards. And they might be just dead on board after they get this thing out. Archon of Cruelty, it's just slamming when it hits the battlefield. Although, you sort of depend on your opponent resigning after, you know, you get your one big hit shebang. Because it's possible they won't care. They'll like, alright, that was very nice. I'll untap, kill this thing. Whereas Grizzlebrand will definitely refill your hand with like 7 or 14 cards. Justin says, Grizzle Dog is both combo and big beats. Can't beat that. So is Archon of Cruelty. It deals like 9 damage. You know, it looks like a 6/6 creature. Remember, when it attacks, your opponent loses 3 life. So it's effectively attacking for 9. Still a 3-turn clock, though, for both of these. Give me demons or give me death. Grizzlebrand is very linear. Archon goes in many decks. Many types of decks. Grizz is better, but Archon way more fun to play with. Archon across the river with George Washington. I have no idea what's going on there. Necropotence on a stick. Big black stick. That's right. All right, looks like Grizzlebrand just won by a landslide. Wow, you people love your Grizzlebrands. At 70%, Grizzlebrand wins. Let's try this one. Rustic Study versus Rustic Remora. I like Rustic Study. I'm curious to know how warped the results are going to be because of all the modern players here, all the competitive players that show up today. Mystic Remora. It's the Battle of the Mist. Oh god, that's hideous. No, we can't have that picture. We can have this pic. Here, we'll have the OG. We'll have an OG picture here. I like it. Which is better? And why? Rustic Study. Or the Mystic... did I spell this right? Spell check has never heard of Rustic. Or... oh, sorry, they're not both Rustic. Mystic Remora. Alright, go vote away. Vote away, my coffee crew. Oops, this is a little too high. I want to see that mana cost. So in the left corner, we've got Rustic Study. For a blue and 2 generic, whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. Friends teach what you want to know. Enemies teach you what you need to know. Oh my god, I love that flavor text. That is a banger. I can relate to that a lot. Mystic Remora in the right corner, however, for 1 blue, we have an enchantment, a cumulative upkeep of 1. Whenever a target opponent successfully casts a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. So it's basically Rustic Study, but unfortunately that player may pay 4 to counter this effect. And it's got cumulative upkeep, so I mean it's only gonna be on the table for a little while and then it's over. Sable Salt says fish is better. Counterpoint, Pithing Needle. Does Pithing Needle do anything to either of these? Remora can be gotten around by slow playing until you can't afford to pay upkeep and cast the cards you draw. So basically you have to say to the table, hey, the idiot has Mystic, or depending who you want to call an idiot, there's Mystic Remora on the table. Don't play anything. Like, it's gonna disappear. Let's just make our land drops, and then when it's gone, let's start playing stuff. Otherwise, this guy's gonna get like an extra 6 cards for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Remora can be gotten around. Oh yeah, we got that. But if you flicker or phase out Mr. Remora, does it reset if you phase it out? Is that true? Wow, that's broken. Okay, Memphis says, one of these cards actually draws you cards. The other just annoys your playgroup. Mystic Remora on turn 1, though, is so much better than Rustic Study. Well, you're not in the right play. Well, you're in a smart playgroup. I've seen so many games where they just play Rustic Study and they just don't care. Does anyone even watch the command zone? Of course. Rustic Study will get you boatloads of cards. People play like it doesn't even exist. It's like, I could wait a turn to play my spell, or I could play it now and just don't care if they draw cards. Because after all, I'm getting my thing in play. Yes, I flicker Remora to only pay 1. Wow, that's broken. That is just broken. Ponder is better. We got Brad J here with a super chat. Merry Christmas, Nikachu. How about an OG old school? Which is better, Birds of Paradise or Llanowar Elves? I love it, Brad. I love it. All right, we're gonna Rustic Study beats Mystic Remora. It's a bit of a tongue twister, people. Okay. Oh, but before we get that poll, we're gonna get the poll online. Birds of Paradise and Llanowar Elves. As we wait. Wait, no, I'm not waiting for anything. All right, so you guys vote away. But we gotta thank our sponsors today, people. We gotta thank FusionGamingOnline.com. My one-stop shop for my paper magic needs. I need Llanowar Elves. I need Birds of Paradise. Tell you what I need right now. I actually need Vance Spirit singles because I'm gonna be there at Magic Con Philadelphia. I'm doing all the Magic Cons. I'm on a good run because I did so well in Las Vegas. But I need the spirit cards. I don't own them. I need still dual lands. I still need, I don't know what spirits I still need. I still have a wait list of those things, and I've wait listed them at fusiongamingonline.com. And when I buy my spirit cards, don't forget that I use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all my purchases. Yeah, that's right. I can use my own coupon code. And they haven't made a big deal out of it yet. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. And without Mana Traders, I wouldn't have found out that I needed to play Banned Spirits and Pioneer. Because I tried out a lot of different types of decks, mostly brews, and they all failed miserably. So I'm like, all right, I lost enough with my own decks. Let's just play a real deck. And that's how I ended up with Mana Traders. Or that's how I ended up with Banned Spirits. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_P9S. That's right, that's P9S. Gotta be careful how quickly I say that. It could be misinterpreted as something else. It's a crazy coupon code I have here. All right, back to you guys. What are we? We're voting on Birds of Paradise. I need to change this. Versus Llanowar Elves. I'm actually a fan of the new Llanowar Elves art. I think this is just a better art. I really don't like the OG art. But maybe that's something you could vote on, which is better, OG art or new art. Bop is still OG best ever. Still pretty good. And holding its price. Birds of Paradises are not $1. People need them Birds of Paradises. There's a reason Bop is an alpha is that much more expensive than Llanowar. Huh? Well, Birds of Paradise, they were both an alpha, right? But one was a rare. I will say Llanowar Elves has been printed to oblivion, even as a common, so that's why it will be way cheaper than anything else. It's called it's called Bolt the Bird for a reason. But honestly, you'll still bolt the Llanowar Elf, even if you see it on site. I don't see any way that Llanowar Elves could be better. In an Elves deck, which might see more play than Birds of Paradise. You know what would be an interesting one? Birds of Paradise versus, what's it called? But this might only apply to, like, modern players. Birds of Paradise versus the elf that untaps lands with Utopia Sprawl. Bop is a bird, where Llanowar Elves is more more accessible. Very accessible. Bop has flying. Also, doesn't attack for anything. It's zero power. Llanowar Elves can at least is a 20-turn clock. Where's your clock, Birds of Paradise? Where's your bird tribal here now? No, it doesn't exist. Yeah, when you bolt the elf, you still say bolt the bird. Yep. Basically, is effectively a bird. Bop versus Deathrite? Come on, that's not even close. What about Terramorphic Expanse versus Evolving Wilds? Isn't it the same damn thing? Okay, well, we're gonna end this. Birds of Paradise has completely crushed Llanowar Elves. Wasn't even close. What is this? Phyrexian Altar versus Ashnod's Altar? Phyrexian Altar versus... This better not be the same thing. Ashnod's Altar. Sack a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Sack a creature, add 2 colorless to your mana pool. Add 1 mana of any color. Both cost 3. Interesting. All right. We can pull this. I don't know where you use one or the other. I would imagine the Ashnod's Altar would sweep, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know all the combos to both these cards. It's Altar versus Altar. The Phyrexian flavor or the Ashnod's flavor. So, Phyrexian Altar for 3 mana and artifacts. Sack a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Could be black mana, because you're probably playing a black deck if you're sacrificing things. Ashnod's Altar, on the other hand, sacrifice a creature, add 2 generic to your mana pool. I imagine that is way easier to make combos, but I cannot be certain. Oh, that is a banger, Levy. We're definitely going to do that one. Well, now everyone's coming out with the suggestions. Ain't Ashnod a Phyrexian too? Well, I don't know, maybe. I don't know the lore. Don't look at me. You think I read those books? Or those articles? Or anything? The only way I would understand the lore is if they, like, put it in a video game or something. Then I would understand the lore. This sounds like it's close, but it's not. Well, it depends on the format, I guess. But every format where Ponder and Brainstorm are illegal, Fetchlands are illegal, so Brainstorm is just better. Welcome, Dueling Dragons Gaming. We will see who the artifact whores are. Or can we tell? Someone's got to vote on some artifact here. Okay, we're gonna end it. Ashnod's Altar wins. It looks like the better combo card because you like net a lot of mana, but I can't be sure. I mean, maybe Phyrexian Altar is good. I like that one. Talerian Academy versus, what was it? Guy's Cradle. The Battle of the Manalands. Not the Manlands, the Manalands. Why is there, like, why doesn't anyone have a YouTube channel called The Gaia's Cradle or something? We got, like, the professor has the Talerian Community College. There could be, like, the Gaia's, the Gaia's Cradle. Or the Gaia's Crib. Or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe there is a YouTube channel. I've never heard of it. It's just not as big. Academy, Cradle, and then Sanctum. Oh yeah, I forgot about Sanctum. I can't imagine Sanctum's is in contention here. So in the left corner, we have Talerian Academy. Maybe its reputation succeeds it. It's tap, add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. And in the right corner, we've got Gaia's Cradle. Tap, add a green to your mana pool for each creature you control. Now, one thing about the Talerian Academy that is sort of a bummer is it's not legal anywhere except like Vintage. Only in Vintage you can play one copy of it, whereas Gaia's Cradle is perfectly legal in Vintage, Legacy, and Commander. So Gaia's Cradle at least gets to see a lot more play. What else can I say about these cards? Yeah, Talerian Academy is beyond broken. Gaia's Cradle is broken, but I don't know about beyond broken. Yeah, you can actually use the Gaia's Cradle. But I guess we are voting which one is the actual better card. You can play Academy anywhere. It's still Academy. Academy is based. Has anyone ever played with Talerian Academy? Like they were there at the time in the Urza Saga block? I remember going to a chess tournament. I might even have footage of this. Where it was like 12 years ago. So I go to this chess tournament and we're getting bored of the tournament because it's like 10 days long. And we find out we all used to play Magic the Gathering. So we go look up a local game store and I buy like 2 Talerian Academies and a bunch of Grim Monoliths. And I don't even know what type of deck I made on the spot. But basically I made a deck on the spot with Talerian Academies and Grim Monoliths. And I don't know, so maybe gigantic win conditions. And we were playing Magic. And that's how I came to own some Talerian Academies and Grim Monoliths. I don't even know how much I spent for them. It was a long time ago, so they were not very expensive. It had to have been around 2010-ish? I think around 2010 when I bought my Talerian Academies and Grim Monoliths. And I very disappointingly sold them at some point. And then I bought them back for a higher price. I want to die with my Talerian Academies. I don't care if it's not legal, so I actually got to play with it. It was the Wild West back then. Played with Teleria back in the day, can confirm it's busted. They were like... It was... I don't know if it was a turn 1 standard deck, but it was definitely at least turn 2. Ooh, I like this one. Tommy said Lightning Greaves versus Swift Foot Boots. Alright, we're going to end this poll. Talerian Academy completely... Well, I don't know, completely crushed. It crushed! Gaia's Cradle. Alright, so we have Lightning Greaves versus Swiftfoot Boots. I don't play with either of these cards. Not at all. Never played with one of them. super commander pony cards, in my opinion. Are either of them, like, tier 0, like, competitive? I mean, I could be wrong. One of these could be good. It's particularly Lightning Greaves, but I don't know. Every so often I see a competitive EDH game being played, and they blow the Lightning Greaves, and I'm like, is that really competitive? Sometimes you gotta protect your commander, though. Sometimes you gotta protect that commander. That commander need that protection. Hey Nikachu, are you also in Flash Freeze? You're talking about, oh yeah, Winnipeg is now full Winnipeg. It's gone full Hoth. It was like minus 31 yesterday. My anime car girl likes Greaves. Greaves sees some CEDH play. Some. Both are seen at the EDH tables. Well, of course, if you're just a regular EDH player, you're gonna play as many of these cards as you can get. You're gonna play the Lightning Greaves and the Swiftfoot Boots. Free equip all day. GTA versus Shadow Spear based. Oh, based on current usage. That is in. Those are weird art. That's a weird comparison. But I guess they're both artifacts. Or sorry, like yeah, both artifacts that will. No, those don't even do the same thing. Shadow Spear. Shroud not always good. All right, we got Digger Dog, who's like the. You want to pump up your creature. You want to enchant it with some stuff. So that is, yeah, in the left corner we got Lightning Greaves. For 2 mana, equipped creature has haste and shroud, which means it has protection from your spells as well, but the equip is 0. And on the right corner we have Swiftfoot Boots. For 2 mana, equipped creature has hexproof and haste. So you can equip it with some more stuff, but the equip costs 1. So it actually is a total 3 mana to you basically protect your creature. It looks like Lightning Greaves just won by a landslide, not even close. And we have Broman here with the super chat. Demonic Tutor versus Vampiric Tutor. Demonic Tutor versus Vampiric Tutor. See, that's how you get your stuff in. You gotta super chat. I gotta make the money, people. Demonic. This is actually an interesting matchup. Vampiric Tutor. Oops. Where you guys go. So in the left corner, we've got Demonic Tutor for a black 1 generic sorcery. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Snap! Put it into your hand. Get to use it immediately. No shipping waiting time. Whereas Vampiric Tutor will let you know it's gonna come in 1 week. Or actually, maybe not in 1 week. It's coming in 2 days, expedited, but not expedited enough. So for 1 black instant, search your library for a card, then shuffle and put that card on top. You lose 2 life. Also, you had to pay for shipping here. Demonic Tutor, free shipping, free 1-day shipping. Vampiric Tutor, you gotta pay. Doesn't matter if you're part of Magic the Gathering Prime. You pay 2 life. Can get milled away. Ooh. Yeah, Vampiric Tutor. There was like, oh, you put a good card on top of your library. Mill your deck for like 1 card. I guess you can vamp the Tutor at end of the opponent's turn. Yeah, you could do that. They have a small window to interact with you. But that is true. So it's effectively putting into your hand. Demonic Tutor slightly ahead of Vampiric Tutor. Maybe Demonic Tutor's worse. No, but you get it immediately. With Vampiric Tutor, you cannot be your turn. So if there's a card you want, you basically have to pass the turn and then do it at the end of your last opponent's turn. Vampiric Tutor gets stopped by Bogart Forager. Automatic loss. I have no idea what that card is. What the hell is this? Bogart Forager? Red, 1/1, sack Bogart Forager. Target player shuffles his or alive. Oh god. Never heard of that card before. Vamp, end of opponent's turn 1. Demonic Tutor, turn 2 as a sorcery. If you need the card immediately, Demonic Tutor is better. And if you have a boatload of mana, because you're going to have to eat up 2 mana for playing Demonic Tutor. I can't relate. I've never played with either of these busted cards. Demonic has no downside besides it's a sorcery. Well, and it costs 2 mana. Vampiric is only 1 mana. 1 mana, but 2 life. It's gonna sting a little bit. I have integrity. Well, yeah, definitely would play with both. Oh my god, I love this one. Winter Orb versus Static Orb. Okay, stop the poll. Demonic Tutor wins. We're doing Winter Orb versus Static Orb. The battle of which more annoying card there is. Maybe we will change it. Which one's more annoying? Static Orb. Okay, this one's gonna be different. Which one's more annoying? More annoying. I guess that would mean which one's better. Because if it's better, then it is more annoying. Oh, no, hold on. Did you say stat? Oh, I thought, you know what? I thought you meant stasis. Whatever. We'll still do this. I thought it was a battle of Winter Orb versus stasis. We'll still do this. They're both pretty bad. And now, yeah, we'll get to your super chat. I won't forget. Julian says Winter Orb. Does anyone play with Static Orb in EDH? If Static Orb is untapped, players can untap more than 2 permanents during each of their untap steps. So these are... But Winter Orb is like, as long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap steps. Poll should be, which one will make you lose more friends? Probably the better one. Yeah, stacks? This is the type of content I long for. I think a much more interesting poll... Okay, hold on, I'm gonna stop the poll for a second. Let's put stasis here. Cause that's what I thought would be a more I don't know which one's worse. Okay, I think this is a very interesting. So Winter Orb clearly crushed Static Orb because it's just a better card. Okay. Annoying. Winter Orb versus stasis. I think this is more hilarious. I play both, and Stasis Brago. Okay, so we know, okay, Winter Orb beats Static Orb, but will Stasis beat Winter Orb? The deal with Stasis, I mean, you have to pay. So in the left corner, we got Winter Orb, 2 mana. As long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap steps. But on the right, we have Stasis, which says players don't even untap. F that. But at the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay a blue. So you need to have some sort of combo online to make sure Stasis stays on the battlefield. But Winter Orb gonna stay there no matter what. Winter Orb gonna be there like all game, for crying out loud. What's it with you people and you want to like vote on the cantrips? Capsize buyback, is that how it's done? So you have to capsize your own creature? There's nothing wrong with playing Stasis when your opponent can't do anything in response. Winter Orb because it can be asymmetrical. As someone who plays all Stasis is worse than Winter Orb overall since Orb goes in more decks easily. But which one's more annoying? Alright, we're gonna end the poll. Stasis wins. Okay, let's start doing some super chat polls. We got Nylia! Opt versus consider. I think I know which one is an easy landslide winner. There should be very... Okay, I won't spoil it. But one I think is clearly better than the other. It's actually not close. At least for most decks. In the left corner, we have Opt at 1 blue. It's an instant. Scry 1 draw card. Now, Scry is look at the top card of your library. You can choose to put that card on the bottom or you're going to leave it on top. Now, in the right corner, we have Consider. Also an instant blue sorcery. So, same reach advantage, same weight, same everything. But we look, actually no, so same reach advantage, same height. But you look at the top card of your library, you may put that card into your graveyard. So this might have a weight advantage because you can fuel your graveyard. The difference is you can create graveyard synergy with this card. Opt can't. That's why whenever you see a deck, they all play Consider now instead of Opt. The only reason you'd want to play Opt is if you have no graveyard synergy whatsoever. Like, you can't make use of your graveyard, and you're only going to accidentally help your opponent, like their Tarmogoyf or something. Because you get to fuel your graveyard. Surveil is better, and most decks can fuel their graveyard. Opt is better versus Mill. Oh yeah, so you, yes, you get to keep cards in your library for the most part. Is anyone in Commander playing Opt over Consider because they need that tiny edge versus the Mill player? Like, let's get real here. So most of the time, I think Consider is just a landslide better card. And it does win the poll. Consider. With that weight advantage, big time. Big time help. We got Mitch J, Serum Visions versus Opt. So instead of Opt, we now have Serum Visions. I have a feeling Mitch wants to say the, I have a feeling Mitch is still playing Serum Visions. Alright, so our loser comes back for another bout. Again, same height advantage. A little faster, though. Maybe a little lighter on their feet because it's an instant versus the Serum Visions, which is a blue sorcery. Now, it draws a card, then scries too. It does the opposite, but it scries a little bit deeper than the Opt does. On the other hand, the card that you draw is completely random. Like, you don't know what you're going to draw with Serum Visions. You're basically going to sculpt the card that you put in your hand by next turn, not this turn. The only reason to play Opt is if Consider isn't legal. Yeah, I guess that's it. Consider this. Reserve list was reprinted. I used to play Kozilek and EDH when Painter Servant mill combo was legal. They would try to mill me and soft lock the game, then lose to the game rules. Yeah. Why is Opt better? Because it's instant speed. So you can hold... So actually, being an instant makes a huge difference here. I mean, I think Opt is actually better. So the deal with Opt is it's instant speed, so you can like hold up counter spells, you can hold up interaction, and then if your opponent doesn't do anything, that's when you play Opt, and then you sculpt the top of your library. Oh, it's a bad card, you put it on the bottom, then draw a much... or increase the chances of you drawing a better card. Whereas Serum Visions, you gotta tap out on your turn. That's inconvenient. Basically sees mostly just playing combo decks, whereas Opt can see play in any deck. Or like, you know, it can see play in way more decks. Serum Visions is just way more... It's better for a combo deck, but worse overall. Can't change my vote. Oh, so now you guys know. Now you guys see the power of Opt? I may or may not be influencing democracy here. Mental Misstep versus Spell. That's not even close. It's not even close. Vintage versus EDH. Recruiter of the Guard versus Imperial Recruiter. That's an interesting one. All right. Gonna end the poll here. Opt won by a landslide. Recruiter of the Guard. It's just the white versus red one, right? And Imperial Recruiter. Imperial Recruiter. We gotta recruit! Uncle Sam needs help. Isn't that right? Is that how... Did I use that right? I don't know the full thing of Uncle Sam. What his full duties are. It seems like if you're American, you gotta believe in Uncle Sam. Better. Recruiter. Oh, they're both recruiters of the Guard or Imperial Recruiter. Uncle Sam wants to tell you pay your taxes. He wants you! Which one of these is Uncle Sam? I guess the Imperial Recruiter. Or actually, none of them are pointing. Maybe Recruiter of the Guard is the Uncle Sam. Okay, hold on. So, which one? Let's see. Is there any difference between the two? One's a human soldier, one's a human advisor. One's white, one's red. When Recruiter of the Guard enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a creature card with toughness 2 or less, reveal it, put into your hand, then shuffle your library. And when Imperial Recruiter enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature card, power 2 or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's the same thing. The difference is one's a mythic, one's a rare, one's a soldier, one's an advisor. I think the soldier would technically go in a few more decks. I also think that if you're making a soldier deck, but then again, I think if you're making a combo deck, you want the red. There's a lot more combo decks like Kiki Jiki, for example, that you're in red, you want to get combo pieces. Oh, you may? Is that a difference? Okay, you may search your library for a creature card with toughness 2 or less. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature. Oh, so you gotta search. You're gonna look! And if you can't find anything, that's your fault. Can't do anything about it. Power versus toughness, though? What is it? They're both 1/1s. They're both pathetic. Hold on. With toughness? With... Oh! There is a difference. I didn't notice. Oh, you're totally right. Okay, so... I don't know. My whole analysis is just thrown just completely into the air. So with card toughness 2 or less, power 2 or less. Okay, I know Imperial Recruiter can find Kiki Jiki. That's about it. They should have a Kiki Jiki here in the background, for all I care. Advisors are better. So if the value is X on either power toughness, is it counted as 0? Huh? If the value is X? I don't know. I actually don't know. Probably yes. Because whatever zone it's in is probably 0. There are more low power creatures than low toughness creatures. Alright, this was a more interesting debate than I thought it was going to be. But Recruiter of the Guard takes it. The Recruiter. We got the dead dinosaur. Oh, poor dinosaur. Viridian Shaman versus the Uktabi Orangutan. This is the Uktabi or... Hold on, isn't there... Oh, they both did the same thing, right? Alright, we got the Sex Monkeys versus the Shaman. Shaman versus Sex Monkeys. Viridian Shaman. Does Viridian Shaman even see any play? Or maybe it does. There's one... Isn't there like an infect one? Uktabi Orangutan or something. Is it orangutan or orangutan? So I don't know my apes very well. Yeah, monk all the way. All right, is there any difference? Can I spot the difference? Green 2 generic, elf shaman enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. Uktabi orangutan, a green 2 generic, again a 2/2 creature, but it's an ape. When Uktabi orangutan comes into play, destroy target artifact. Enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. No maze. Blow up the artifacts if you can. Elf is more relevant. You can put this in like the elf deck. Who the hell is playing the ape deck? No one plays ape deck. But there's tons of elf decks out there. Is it illegal in Pauper? It is not. 4. It's an uncommon. It's too bad. Elf creature type matters a ton, but Reclamation Sage exists now, so neither of these is a card anymore. But what if you need more? Are you just going to play one Reclamation Sage? You might need more than one. This Viridian Shaman probably is a house in Commander. Not at a competitive level, but at an annoying level. Oh, you got a Soul Ring? Well, I'll Soul Ring out my Viridian Shaman and blow up your Soul Ring. Got him! And I got a 2/2 creature. Elves can technically use both, but the ape is not very flavorful. What are the two monkeys doing in the background? What do you think they're doing? Did you really have to bring this up, Gregory? Did you have to bring this up? It's not obvious. They're making babies. They're making babies, Gregory. Do you know where babies come from? Do you know how the process is done? Math, they're gonna add an ape. Yeah, baby tokens. This should have came with a baby token. They should errata this. When Uktabi Orangutan enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. That would be the greatest errata of all time. And create a 1/1 baby token. Baby monkey. Or I don't know, a 0/1 baby monkey token. Yeah, why this card. That's right. Alright. The Shaman wins. Not because it has a more entertaining picture, because it actually is a better card. Actually a better card. Alright, did I miss any super chats? Nope. What comparison are we going to go for now? Ranger of Eos versus Ranger Captain of Eos. Yeah, I think you got to find a better something to compare ad nauseum to, because I think those are not close. Ranger of Eos. I would love to compare ad nauseum to something. Look, we got both of them here. Ranger of Eos versus Ranger Captain. The Captain of Eos. Does anyone play both? Okay, Ranger of Eos. The card advantage engine. Then the Ranger Captain of Eos. Actually, you know what? Maybe this is not even close. One is pretty superior over the other. So a white, well, one's a little bit easier to cast, I guess. A white 3, in the left corner, we got the Ranger of Eos. A white 3 generic 3, 2 human soldier, enters the battlefield. You can look up two creature cards with converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal them, put them into your hand if you do shuffle your library. Now Ranger Captain, we got on the right corner, we got the Captain. The other guy was just the soldier. This guy's the Captain. He's commanding the Ranger. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Only one, but we do have the ability, sacrifice Ranger Captain of Eos. Your opponents can't cast non-creature spells this turn. You got a little extra toughness. That's it. I mean, maybe it depends on the deck where you might need that card advantage. Because Ranger Captain of Eos, it's like Ancestral Recall. You just play, I mean, you play a card and boom, you get 2 more cards. That's pretty damn convenient. He's a captain, not a general. Armies have tons of captains. All right, that's good to know. He's just a manager, still under the wing of someone else's boss. The captain for the flexibility of their ability. I like that ability, yeah. Like if someone tries to combo off on the turn, you just sack the captain and like, okay, screw your combo. Someone says play ad nauseum. Ranger Captain sack over. It's like, it's a nice little counter spell. Or if you're afraid of wrath effects, it's like, oh, you have Supreme Verdict in your deck? Upkeep, sack my Ranger Captain of Eos. Don't be blowing up my board, please. Can't search Stormcrow, none are good. The captain can make it happen. I like that. The captain can make it happen. And the captain, it wins. Because he is the captain. Burning Paper Sun has a super chat. Urborg Trimby. Oh! Urborg versus Yavimaya. Urborg Tomb versus Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. That is interesting. I don't know which one's going to win. Is this one? No. Hold on. Yavimaya Cradle of... Should be good enough. There we go. I don't know. One adds black mana and might see a lot of play. But Yavimaya is starting to see a lot of play right now. Urborg combos with Cabal Coffers. We've got that going. But Yavimaya combo... What is Yavimaya combo with? Each land is a forest in addition to its other types. Urborg, hit your opponents with Spreading Algae. There is that, I guess. Well, Urborg way in front. I think a lot of people are used to playing with Urborg. Technically, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is a bit of a new card. So we are just used to you playing Urborg. We know all the full capabilities of Urborg. We don't know the full capabilities of Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Yavimaya combos with the elf that gives Fort... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Elvish Champion. Elvish Champion. However, Urborg has the stupid combo with Cabal Coffers. There are many cards that work with Forest. I think there are more combo pieces with Urborg versus Yavimaya. I use Yavimaya with Chatterfang. Ah, interesting. Urborg's also legal in Pioneer, and Yavimaya doesn't exactly get to play with Cabal. No, it does not. There's a whole archetype made out of Urborg. Yes, you do with the Titan deck. Does Titan use Yavimaya? Look up Bubbling Muck. It sups up, which is better? What the hell is Bubbling Muck? Bubbling Muck. The Muck. Bubbling Murk? No, I don't know what you're talking about. There's another land with the ability similar to Cabal Coffers. Ah, but it's not the same, right? I think I know what you're talking about, but it's not quite the same. Anyway, Urborg wins. Urborg is better than Yavimaya. If anyone was wondering, we have Levy with the super chat. Mox Diamond versus Chrome Mox. Is Mox Diamond so good, by the way, Commander? Like, how important is it owning this card? Like, I have a choice. Well, I don't really have a choice. I don't really want to buy Mox Diamond. I know it's a reserve list. Like, how good is Mox Diamond compared to all the other Moxen? I can't tell if it's actually that good, if it's worth owning. For the price, because it's like $1 million in Canadian. For all I know, Chrome Mox is better. And it's much cheaper. For example, I still need to buy that that Lotus. That's that monocolor commander Lotus. I can't remember what it's called. Jeweled Lotus, I think it is. I don't own a Jeweled Lotus yet. Mox Diamond is better. But with Chrome, I usually imprint a 3-color dragon. Oh, that's interesting. So we got like Mox Diamond for graveyard synergies, Chrome Mox for everything else. Mox Diamond with land tax, Scroll Rack for the dig effect. Mox Diamond is great, but Chrome Mox definitely better. Ah. Yo, it was actually Bubbling Muck with a C, if you're still curious. Bubbling Muck. Such card exists. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps a swamp for mana, it produces an... Ooh. That is a combo with Urborg. You can always play Chrome. You sometimes can't play Mox. Can you? When enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-artifact, non-land card from your hand. What if you don't have a non-artifact, non-land card? Then you'd be screwed, Bobby. You'd be screwed. Whoa, this is close. Oh my god. It's an even bout between Mox Diamond and Chrome Mox. I feel like I'm gonna have to like just close my eyes and end the poll. One makes you discard a land, the other makes you exile a non-artifact, non-land card. You know what I think is better for most Commander players? I'm assuming Commander players don't know how to balance mana in their deck, so Chrome Mox just comes off as better because you're just gonna have more non-lands in your deck, period. Because you're gonna your mana base is gonna be filled up with like Sol Ring, Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, etc. So you're gonna be like lower on land count, so Mox Diamond gets really clunky really fast. I can only assume. I can only assume. Does Mox Diamond add 1 mana of any? Oh, it does add 1 mana of any color. Mox Diamond color fixes and combos with Life from the Loam. Urza could use it even if you don't exile anything. I like it. Oh, so you can use Chrome Mox, just slam it in. So Chrome Mox, you can just slam it in play and do nothing. But Mox Diamond, you gotta sack it. You don't pay that land tax, you're gonna get sacked. All right, that's really close. It's a tough call. But we're gonna end the poll, and Mox Diamond wins it. Mox Diamond, what a steal. That was a close one. That's our closest poll today. I like it. That's the whole point of these polls. We got some close ones. Dockside Extortionist versus Smothering Ties. What's Smothering Ties first? Smothering Ties. Is this going to be close? Oh, I love it. All right, this is a great one. Smothering Tie versus Dockside Extortionist. This is a great, great pull. The dark side. Also considered the dark side. The extortionist. They're gonna extort you. They both extort, basically. Just in their own way. Dockside clearly... a lot of people are saying Smothering Tide is broken. Because for a white 3 generic, whenever an opponent draws a card, I mean, and you're all drawing cards, right? You're gonna pay 2. It's like a super Rustic study. It's the super Rustic study. If the player doesn't, you create a treasure token. Oh, sorry, it's not a Rustic study. It's well, it's sort of like Rustic study, but for treasure tokens. And if nobody has artifacts on the battlefield, what's Dockside gonna do? When it enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. If your opponent only has a Smothering Tide, you only get 1 treasure token. But this is like pretty continuous for the entire game. You guys don't think this is a fair fight? I think this is fair. I'm surprised people are all in on the Dockside Extortionist. Like, this thing dies to removal. How many of you guys are playing with enchantment removal in Commander? You guys barely play with creature removal, and you think you have enchantment removal? Dockside is now you're the arch enemy, while Smothering is really annoying, but not insta danger though. All right. Dockside is pretty busted, but it's a one and done unless you can flicker or recycle it. Smothering Tithe is a low-key threat. That's what I think as well. Smothering Tithe is a great card. Dockside is a format warping card that, in addition to Breach, made red one of the most popular colors in CEDH. In Commander, a 2-mana tax is irrelevant. Well, then that's like saying a Rustic Study is irrelevant, and they can't even pay 1. Yeah, white card draw? No, this is whenever an opponent draws a card, they could pay 2. If they don't, you get the treasure token. Dockside is play I win. Tithe that just sits there and annoys people. Well, they accumulate that value, right? They accumulate that value. All right. Well, but you guys said Dockside Extortionist is better, so it's better. Dockside is the better card between the two. Gregory here with the super chat. Urza Chief Artificer versus Urza Lord High. Oh, is there 2 Urza cards? Urza Chief. The Chief. What the hell is this? You have a better picture? There we go. Versus... I'm not even familiar with this Urza. Never heard of it. Urza High Lord. Or is it Lord High? Ah, they knew what I was talking about. Ugh. Some of these cards, though. I don't want this variation. Give me a different variation. Give me a different variation. There we go. I approve of this one. Thanks for the super chat. So we got the Urza Chief. Urza Chief versus the Urza Lord. I don't even know what... Okay, in the left corner, we have a 6-mana 4/5 legendary creature, affinity for artifacts. Costs 1 less to cast for each artifact creature you control. Artifact creatures you control have menace. At the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Did this just come out? I never heard of this card. New card. But then on the other hand, we have Urza Lord High Artifice. You have infinity for artifacts, which is weird. But whatever. Okay, so you could ramp this out for 3 mana, and you get a construct every single turn. I would say that's pretty busted. And the artifact creatures getting menace is also pretty busted. But then on the right corner, we've got Urza Lord High Artificer, a blue 2 generic 1/4 creature. When it enters the battlefield, create that 0/0 colorless construct token. But then you can tap any of your artifacts for blue mana. And also, you can pay 5, shuffle your library, and then exile the top card of your library. You can play that card without paying its mana cost until end of turn. So with infinite mana, you can basically play your entire deck. Chief needs to wait a couple of turns. It does. You could get Urza out on turn 2. Lord straight up broken. Oh, wow. This is super lopsided. Not even close. Not even close. Not even... The Lord is just killing it here. In the left corner is one only printed in the Bro Commander deck. That's probably why you haven't seen it, yeah. The Bro Commander deck. Lord is CEDH. That's cool. Nikachu MTG versus Nikachu MTG Live. Artifact aggro, but does this go in stacks? Is there an Urza stacks deck? I thought stacks needs to play white. I guess Urza doesn't need to be your commander. Anyway, if you guys love this, so Urza just completely killed it. If you guys love this format, let me know. But in the end, it's going to be like, if I get the views, we'll do this again. If the views are garbage, we'll never do this again. But I thought it was a fun show. And if you want to be part of these fun polls and stuff, well, you got to be here from Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks, everyone, for your support, supporting with Super Chats. You Super Chatted your suggestions into polls. And also everyone who's a member on YouTube and also patrons on Patreon. Links to support the channel in the description below. But thank you guys for being here, because I would have no show if it wasn't for you. I say that every single time. I'm worthless. I can't do this stuff without you. I need the coffee crew. It's only possible because you guys show up in the morning with me. So, as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, coffee crew, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and